What's going on, guys? We're having a great day today, and today we're here with another tier list, and we're going to be ranking every single mobile suit in Gundam SEED Freedom. Before I get into my list, though, I want to hear from you guys, so head on down to the comment section below and let me know what your favourite mobile suit is that appears in this film. It can be a new one, an old one, an upgraded one, whatever it wants to be. Just let me know all that down in the comment section below. And while you're there, please do leave a like on this video and subscribe if you're a fan of anime and Japanese gaming content and want to see plenty more videos like this in the future. Just a quick warning that this list may contain spoilers for Gundam SEED Freedom, so if you haven't seen it yet, make sure that you click away from this video, go watch it whenever it comes out wherever you are in the world, and then come back to it. But if you don't care about spoilers, then feel free to watch on. So as per usual, we've got S, A, B, C and D tier. I've missed out F because I don't think there's really any F tier mobile suits within here. Generally, you're never going to find me like truly hating a mobile suit of any kind. But we do have every single one that appears. These are all the ones from the Gundam SEED Freedom website. Without further ado though, let us kickstart things with Agnes's Yan Strong. Now I do like this design quite a bit. There's one that we're going to talk about pretty soon that looks pretty much exactly the same. I kind of like the kind of like cone design of it. It's not my favorite. I think I'd put it like a solid B. It's got like a decent color scheme. I don't know actually, would I go higher? Because I'm thinking through in my head and I'm thinking at the gunpla or the weaponry and such, and I really like the shield. I like this a more like hand-to-hand combat kind of based one, which I do really like that. I think I'd still go B, but I'd probably go like pretty high on B. Next up we've got the Akatsuki, which of course has appeared I think in every single SEED series, SEED Destiny, SEED Destiny, and then SEED Freedom. So yeah, I think it has appeared everywhere, and of course it does make a return here, piloted by Mu later in the film. I've always really liked the Akatsuki. It's a very much an over the top design because it's, you know, full on gold, shiny, metallic. It's very flashy, but I do really like it. It's difficult because, like, in regards to this film, it does have a really cool scene where it basically blocks the Requiem shot, which is kind of crazy, and then reflects it back. So I think I would probably sit it. I'll put it in like top of B for now, but maybe it'll go higher. Well, it just depends on everything else. Next up, we have the Cal Rhea. I love this design. It could possibly be my favorite in SEED Freedom. The color scheme, the white, the gold. I think it's even got like hints of purple. It does, yeah, zooming into it, hints of blue as well. A white and gold color scheme you cannot go wrong with, and this one just looks absolutely phenomenal. I love all the Black Knight designs, as we'll talk about soon, but this one, S tier. Absolutely fantastic, and one of my personal favorites of the film. Very excited for them to eventually release that Gunpla, which I think they've announced. Next, we have Destiny Spec 2. Now, I really like the Destiny Gundam in general, of course piloted by Shin Asuka, and this does some crazy stuff in that final act. So like I said, this will contain spoilers, so I'm going to talk about this kind of stuff. When it kind of splits into all like these clones, absolutely wild. I love this suit. I think it's fantastic. I love it's really like the wings that just make it. I mean, you just can't go wrong with the Destiny. This is just a slightly better version of that. I'm going to go A tier. Next up, we move on to the Din F. It's a very kind of Xeon Zaku type looking suit. With, of course, you know, the Cyclops head and that. I think it's a solid design. The color scheme's pretty decent as well. But again, it's nothing super impressive, so I'm going to put it like top of C. Next, though, we've got the Din R. This is pretty much the same, except the head sculpt is horrendous. I really don't like the head sculpt. Especially on like just the R version. We'll talk about, I think it's a Jin or a Gin later on, which also does have an R variant, which I also don't like that. But I just don't like the head sculpt, so it just goes one tier lower. Everything about it's pretty much the same. It's just the head sculpt takes it down an entire tier because it's really that horrendous looking. Next, we've got the Jewel Blitz. I've always loved the mobile suits that Zaf take in SEED. And then the Jewel Blitz is basically just a new variation of all that kind of stuff. I love the color scheme, the kind of blue, a little bit of grey in there, a bit of orange. I'm going to actually go bottom of A for now. I like the Destiny a bit more, just because it does have that really, you know, cool ability. Next up, we have Force Impulse Spec 2. One of those like classic looking Gundams, which I like, but there's just better versions of it. Take like the Destiny, for example. Take the Strike Freedom. I just think that all of these are better like looking versions of a more traditional Gundam. I think I'm going to go about mid B. It kind of sits right in the middle of everything, so I think that's a very solid place to put it for now. Next, we do have Gelgoog Menace, which I like. I think the color scheme is pretty solid. You know, blue, green, bit of orange in there. I think it's a solid looking suit, but I don't think it's anything too incredible. So I think I'm going to go right at the top of C. Now we move on to the Gin. This is the F version, which I like. I think the fin is a little bit over the top. I think it's a bit too big, But otherwise, I think it's solid. So I'm going to go like C, but I'll go bottom of C. And then we go on to the in F, right at the bottom of C. I really hate this head sculpt. Like, you can probably see it. It almost just looks empty in the middle. There's something very weird about it, which I really just don't like. Now moving on now, we've got Hilda's Gyanstrom, which is really not any different to Agnes's. I don't know which I prefer, though. I mean, Agnes's has got a more lighter colour scheme, it's got a bit of a darker one. I think I like the lighter colour scheme a bit more, so we'll put it in B. It's really just the same thing, it's just a very slight colour variation to it. Then we move on to the Immortal Justice. I really like this design. In fact, it might be my favourite version of the Justice. I like the brighter red colours, so I'm going to put it in A. And I think I'm going to put it in front of the Dual Blitz. I just like the colour scheme. I think the brighter red colours really suit. It's not an overblown suit, if that makes sense. Like, it doesn't have too much going on. It's just a very solid, clean looking suit. Next up then, we've got the Infinite Justice Type 2, which has a incredible scene in the film. Perhaps one of my favourite, probably one of my most hyped moments actually, in the film, where it breaks out the Z-Cock. So cool. What a great moment. I mean, Atherin, he is the GOAT for me when it comes to the SEED franchise. He just has some great moments in this film, even though he's not, playing a huge role in it. When he's there, they certainly didn't skimp on giving Atherin awesome moments, which I was very happy to see. And Infinite Justice Type 2 is basically just the Infinite Justice, which is already a pretty good suit, but then it's got like an X-Wing on the back of it, or like the X-Wing's wings. I think, again, I'm going to have to go A. I'm going to put it just behind the Immortal Justice, because I like the bright colour scheme of the Immortal Justice a little bit more than the Infinite Justice, but again, still solid. Now we move on to the Lightning Buster. I've always loved the Buster Gundam ever since seeing it in Seed. I just love the colour scheme of the kind of cream colours, the green, the red. It's just a really unique and interesting colour scheme, and the Lightning Buster is just an improved version. A lot of the suits you're going to see here are just better versions of what we've had in the past. I'm going to put it in A. Is it blasphemous to put it in front of the Destiny? I think if we're going purely on aesthetics and design, I would, but I think just because the Destiny has like more kind of cooler elements to it, I'm going to put it just behind Destiny. Next up, we have Luna Maria's Gelgoog Menace. I'm going to put this in B tier. Would it be blasphemous to put it in front of both Gyanstroms just because of the colour scheme? I just think the red suits it so much better than that other colour scheme. I think I'm going to put it, I don't know, maybe I'm just like making shit up on the spot here and just throwing things wherever. I'm putting it a whole 2 spaces above the normal one just because it's red. Moving on, we got, this is the big spoiler really, the Mighty Strike Freedom. A crazy suit. I already love the Strike Freedom, as we'll talk about pretty soon, I'm sure. It's just an improved version of it. The gold editions are so cool. The utilization of it in the film, the fact that it's crazy overpowered, the addition of a katana, no complaints, S tier. Do I put it like right at the top of S tier though? If we're talking about things that it does, and I do want to implement some of those things into these ideas that I have here about where I'm placing things, just the fact that it has crazy wild moments in the third act, putting it at the top of S tier. Next up we've got Mulaflega's Murasame Kai, which I think he has earlier in the film, and then he gets the Akatsuki in the third act. I'm not a big fan of this one, I gotta be honest. I really don't like the legs. They just look too long. Compared to like the rest of the body, the proportions to me just seem off. It's not horrendous, but I'm gonna put it at the back of C. Next we have the Rising Freedom. I love the colour scheme on this, the brighter blue. It's kind of got a bit more of like a military accents to it, I guess, as well. Of course, opening sequence with it is so cool. I'm very excited for it to get its Gunpla release, which hopefully should be within the next couple of weeks or something, so hopefully I get a hold of that soon. But yeah, I really like this suit. I'm putting it in A. I think I like it a little bit more than the Immortal Justice, so I'm going to put it here. Next up we have the Rudrower. There's about 4 different versions of this, which are all just, different colour variations. You got this green one, you got an orange one, a pink one, and then a dark blue one. So I've just gone with putting the green one, but basically this just applies to all of them. You can't see it here because the head's been blocked off, but I'm sure I'll throw up images on screen. The Black Knight Squad designs are so cool, and the Rudrower, I think it's a really top tier design. A is getting pretty stacked, but I'm still putting it in A. Where do we put it though? Just because these designs are so incredible, and I love, especially with the K design, oh my god, so good. Top of A. Next up though, we've got the Shiva, sort of the head of the group of Black Knights. This one's a slightly different to the Rudrower. I think it's even better though, so we're putting it right at the top of A this time. They just nailed the designs of these Black Knight Squad suits. Just in general, like, this film just has such phenomenal designs to it. The Strike Freedom Type 2, which again just basically looks like what the Strike Freedom does, but very slight variations, I think. I kind of like the design of the Rising Freedom a bit more. I might even like the Immortal Justice a bit more. I might like the Infinite Justice more. I don't think I do. I'm going to put it here. Again, A tier. Next up, we got the Strike Rouge. I guess it's a bit of an underwhelming suit in comparison to everything else. I feel like the Strike Rouge needs like some sort of major upgrade because it's kind of been around since, was it? I think it was first introduced in Destiny, maybe, or maybe it was introduced like towards the end of Seed. I can't exactly remember 100%, but it's just the Strike but recolored. I'm gonna put it in, I think I'll put it at top of C. Next up though, and last actually, we do have the Zeecock, which I have never been a huge fan of, especially with the original series and the original trilogy of movies. It was something that was hard to take seriously in my mind. It just never looked cool, never looked particularly menacing. It just looked a bit silly. What I like about this one though is that it looks a slight bit more menacing here. And of course, the big scene with it where the Infinite Justice Type 2 breaks out of it, awesome. And just on the fact that this is involved in that, is cool. I'm actually going to go in B. I do really like the Zeecock in this film. The Zeecock design is like a great design that needed a tiny bit of shifting just to make it a little bit more menacing looking. They absolutely nailed it. I gotta say, it's probably my favorite Zeecock design throughout the entire Gundam series. But there we have it. There is my tier list for Gundam SEED Freedom's mobile suits. As you can see, A is probably far too stacked to be honest, but I don't care. All of these suits are great. There is not a single horrendous looking suit. It's filled with some of the best designs, not only in the Seed franchise, but maybe even in the entire Gundam franchise. You look at these S tier ones, they look awesome. All of the A tier ones look great. Pretty much all the B tier ones also are great suits as well. Even in C tier, there's good looking suits here. There's no like truly bad suit in here. So that is my mobile suit tier list for Gundam SEED Freedom. Before I get out of here though, please do leave a like on this video. Also subscribe if you're a fan of anime and Japanese gaming content and want to see plenty more videos like this in the future. Let me know down in the comments section below your favourite mobile suits that appeared in this film. And stay tuned because I've got plenty more Gundam videos coming up on the horizon. I'm going to have a mobile suit tier list for Seed Destiny and the original Seed series. Also planning to do a ship tier list for Seed Freedom, a battleship, warship tier list, whatever you want to call it. And then sometime, probably more towards when this film releases in the States, I'm going to talk about what could potentially be next or what I would like to see next within the Seed franchise. But as always, thank you so much for tuning into mchat today. And I'll see you guys next time.